All right, everybody, in this one we have a 2005 Dodge Ram with a 4.7. Apparently this one has a misfire on cylinder number 3 and it's a constant miss. Parts that have been replaced so far is a coil and an injector, and the miss is still there. So we're going to try verify this. I'm going to take and scan the vehicle, make sure that there's actually a miss on cylinder number 3 from there. Then from there we're going to do a cold flood, a clear flood crank, see if there might be anything mechanical, and then from there we're going to really start our diagnosis. All right, so let's start this up and we'll start from there. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to auto detect everything. So as usual, I'm going to pause you guys and then I'll bring you guys back. All right, everything just finished scanning. Let's click on report. Let's go to our misfires. Or misfires, I should say. Let's go check and see. So we have a P0303 that is active, and we also have a P0456, which is an evap small leak. I am not here for the P0456, but I am here for the P0303. So that is what we are going to start with. All right. Let's click on it. Let's escape. Let's go in our engine module. Go to our live data. Let's see what they give us in some live data. I'm going to start the vehicle up and we're going to see if there's any counters. Let's see what we have. We're going to do a clear flood crank also, but I just want to make sure that we don't have any live data, so I can use that as a diagnostic. So I can use that for my diagnostics. The system is very, very slow. All right, let's see what they give us, shall we? Injectors 1, pulse width, O2, short term. I use the short term too, but I'm not having any fuel trim issues. I don't really think that we need to go that way. I don't think that we're going to see very much onto the misfire side. So let's go into system check. See what they give us. Purge, set RPM, injector kill test, idle air. I can do an injector kill test afterwards. Special function. No, I don't think that they're going to give us anything on misfire. So we're going to go into this pretty much blind. So what we're going to do first is just do a clear flood, and we're going to listen to the engine. So that sounded like a little bit of a misfire to me. It feels like a miss, a constant miss. Let's get in here. Yeah, there's a constant miss on this one. All right, so apparently they already changed the injector. I'm not 100% sure on that. Whoa, c'est beau. So there's a constant miss on this car. I can feel the constant miss on this car. So what we're going to be doing from there is we'll do a relative compression check to start with, and from there we'll take and verify coil operation and also verify our injector operation. And then from there, if all that checks out, we're going to take and we're going to verify in cylinder. I could also check fuel pressure, do an injector drop test on this bank, but I'm pretty sure that if I had an injector issue, it would give me a fuel trim code. So I think I'm going to stick mainly with the electrical side and the mechanical side on this one. But you can feel the misfire onto this vehicle. So let's get out the scope and start doing some testing. All right, guys, so I have the vehicle started. I'm just going to go to the back. I'm going to let you guys hear the exhaust. You can't really feel the misfire from this point, but at the same time, I know that there is a misfire. You can hear the misfire coming out of the exhaust. So I'm going to show you guys that. Right now what I have is channel 1 hooked up to cylinder number I think number 1. Actually, I think it's 1357 on this one. So I think that that's cylinder number 1. If not, I'll look at the firing order and placement of the cylinders. And I have my amp clamp hooked up to the negative battery cables. So what I'm going to do now is go turn the vehicle off, let you guys listen to the exhaust first, and then we're going to do a relative compression test. All right, so let's get over to that, and hopefully you guys will be able to hear this. Okay. All right, you can clearly hear that there's a misfire onto it. The misfire for cylinder number 3 keeps popping up, so we're gonna do our best to try diagnosis for the client. All right, so first things first, let's turn the key off. Now, to enter into clear flood mode on GMs, Ford, and Dodge, just hold the pedal down to the floor and crank it over. All right, I just got some data. Let's go check that out. After a couple turns, it actually starts to work properly. So let's stop this. Let's go back and see what's going on. Oh yeah, we got a dead miss here, guys. I can see the dead miss. I don't know if you guys can see it. All right, so I'll try again. And the glare outside is horrible for you guys. But anyway, we can clearly see we have a dead mist, and all of a sudden, the mist goes away. So what we're going to do is verify exactly which cylinder this is. I'm pretty sure it's going to be cylinder number 3. But let's look at the firing order, plug in the firing order, and go from there. All right, so I got my pressure analysis program up onto the computer. This is the cylinder sync one. As we can see right here, I plugged in my firing order. I am on cylinder number 1. So I'm on 1, then that's 8, then 4, and then 3 is our dead hole, then 6, 5, 7, 2. And if we scroll over, it repeats itself over and over and over again. But then eventually, I don't know what happens. Oh, I gotta exit that now because I don't need that anymore. Let's come in. Okay. After cranking and cranking and cranking, eventually, I think that we just have a sticking valve on this one because it just goes away. And it starts to work normally. Well, normally. 1, 8, 4, and 3. So 3 still has very low compression at that point. So I think that there's a valve issue on this one. I'm going to put in the in-cylinder pressure transducer into cylinder number 3. I got to take off the intake in order to get to it, but we got to make sure at 100% that our valve is not sealing properly. But I'm pretty sure that we're dealing with a valve issue on this one. So let me get the in-cylinder pressure transducer up, and we'll start finish up this diagnosis. All right, everybody, so now what I have is channel 3 hooked up with my in-cylinder pressure transducer. I'm going to zero that in 1 second. Channel B is still my amp clamp, and channel 1 is still on cylinder number 1, firing coil trigger. So what we're going to do right now is go in, we're going to crank the engine over again, and we're going to see if we can't catch what is going on inside the cylinder because the compression was still very low. All right, so let's get this cranking and let's see what happens. Voilà. All right, so that was roughly about 8 seconds. So we'll take that that data right there, and we'll see what is going on inside this cylinder. It was weird that it started, but anyway, I have the intake off too. All right, let's see what we have, shall we? And from what I can tell, we have no intake valve operation. I might have to do a running one on this. I'll try to give you guys this. I'm gonna zoom in. Let's take this. All right. Yeah, it doesn't look like if we have any intake valve operation going on, guys. I'm gonna do a running compression just to make sure. But actually, I already have a running one all the way over here. So maybe I'll just scroll over and we'll see what the running one is telling us. But this was on startup, so it's gonna be a little bit different. Yeah, there's a valve issue on this. I can see the valve issue. Yeah. I don't know if you guys see, like over here, how my intake valve over here is actually way lower than everything else. I'm gonna do a running compression. Not running. I'm running intakes in-cylinder compression test, or pressure transducer test, I should say. And we're gonna see. Let's go here. Let's take off channel B right now. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Channel A I actually took off. I didn't even realize I took it off. That's okay. All right, let's go over to another one. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything happen here. That even looks worse near the end. I don't know if you guys can see this. Yeah, there's no valve operation on the exhaust valve. Okay, so it's for sure I'm having a, yeah, you see right here? I'll bring these three up. We have an exhaust pocket. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start this guy up and run him. So give me a minute, guys. Alright guys, so here is the running compression test. So the first thing that we want to do whenever we're looking at a running in-cylinder pressure test, I should say, or the first thing we want to do when we are looking at a in-cylinder pressure transducer waveform when the vehicle is running, is we want to look for uniformity across our waveform. So I'm gonna come over, I'm gonna click on my cursor, I'm gonna just bring down my cursor, I'm gonna find a relatively straight spot. Alright, so what we are seeing right here, if we see we have a down and then an up and then a down and then an up, that is indicating to me that we are having a valve sealing issue. That in-cylinder running, we do see an intake pull happening. All right, I'm gonna zoom in on that, but I'm just gonna bring this guy over. I'm just gonna scroll him over so everybody can really see what's going on. All right. So if we see we're uniform, right? But over here we're low, 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 and then it gets low, compression gets lower, and then all of a sudden compression gets higher, and then compression gets lower, and then compression goes up high again. What that is telling me, all right, is that we have a valve that's not sealing properly and spinning on itself. There's something going on with the valve. Which valve at this point? I'm thinking it's my intake valve, my exhaust valve, sorry. Only because of this area right here. I might be wrong on this. I have to go recheck a video. Bernie Thompson has a great video on this stuff, guys. I watched it last night just to refresh myself. But typically, we are looking at this line right here, and we are looking at our exhaust pocket at the same time. From what I can tell, my exhaust pocket is way lower than what my my intake pocket is. So that tells me that I'm probably more dealing with a exhaust valve issue than an intake valve issue. There's also measurements that you can do from here to here. So if I would put in like a 720 degree, I could really tell how many degrees that these guys are actually opening at. But for me, I'm gonna go with an exhaust valve on this one. I might actually take off the valve cover myself, just go see the springs, because I think that there's going to end up being a spring issue on this one. But this clearly looks like a valve that's just not sealing properly. If it was anything like when the bottom end, number one, I don't think the engine would be running the way it is. But we would still see pretty uniform, I gotta put it, like pressure waveforms going across the top. So it would still be pretty straight. From my experience anyway. I don't have much experience. I've already told you guys this with these. I have fun using them, and it does give you a lot of information. But just this guy being lower than this guy, then my exhaust pocket being way lower than my intake pocket, I'm guessing that I'm having an exhaust valve issue on this one. But we're gonna take and I think I'm gonna undo the valve cover and I'm gonna go check real quick. So I'll pause you guys and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're going to do one more test. It's for sure that this guy's having a valve issue onto his engine. I tried to take off the valve cover. There's strip bolts and everything onto it, so I'm not even going to play with that. Somebody else can go play with that. I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, these models actually have issues with the valve springs breaking. So what we're going to do, real quick, I just want to make sure that there's no damage onto the cylinder walls. We're going to go with an in-cylinder pressure transducer. Alright, and we are just going to make sure that there is nothing happening onto that area. So we're gonna come in, let's get this guy out of here. There we go, Okay, so we'll just throw him back on number 3 because I already have number 3 set up. We'll change the voltage scale to 20 volts. Normally it gives you a nice little image at 20 volts. It sucks about the glare, guys. I'm really sorry about that. Alright, so we're just going to come in. We're going to pick our 20 volt scale. We're going to leave the time base the same at 1 second per division, and we're going to just crank it, let it start, and see what pulses are coming out of this engine, of the crankcase at least. Alright. Yeah, right. Oh, did I forget something? I don't think so. Just making sure I didn't forget a connector anywhere. I did not. Alright, so let's take a look at the scope real quick. Make sure that we have nothing going on. Those pulses seem a little bit small. So let's drop it down to 1 volt. And those pulses look pretty even to me. So I don't believe that we're having an issue really onto that side. Let's go down to 200 millivolts. Yeah, nothing going on there, guys. So what we're going to do real quick, I'm going to stop this. We'll zoom in. Yeah, those pulses look pretty good, guys. I'm not going to worry too much about that. So from there, that's it on this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry about the glare, but as always, I'll see you guys next time.